My second question, there is many problem in our society in Bangladesh for women. My second question for Shirin Ebadi, how we
young people who are taking drugs and someone have problems. And you know, I said to him, John, what's the advice to me whenever you're working with youth in any age? And he said, we haven't learnt to sit in a room with a person who's hurting. Who's hurting? Let them talk to you. Because we don't do that. We have the answers. We're there to solve their problems. So that sounds a simple thing. But he said to me, Mum, somebody with a problem can walk into the room with all the problems in the world. When they're given space to tell what their problem is, you don't even have to say anything. But they can walk out of the room feeling, I've been heard. And that's a fun.
این فرهنگ غلط هم هستن اما انتقال دهنده اونم هستن.
So I repeat, although women are victims of this wrong patriarchal culture, they're also the ones who transfer it.
من بسیار مثال‌های زیادی میشه بزنم ولی الان وقت ندارم و فقط میخوام کوتاه صحبت بکنم که راه مقابله چیست.
I can think of many examples to give you, but I want to keep this short, so I want to focus on how we can stand up to this.
راه مقابله دانشه. بایستی زنها دانششون مخصوصا در زمینه فرهنگ پدرسالار خیلی بالا بره.
And the way to do that is through education. We have to raise awareness among women about this patriarchal culture.
و از همین جاست که ما میفهمیم چرا بنیادگراها، مردان بنیادگرا با تحصیل زنان انقدر مخالفن. یادتونه که ملاله رو میخواستم بکشم برای که داشت درس میخوند.
And it is because of this that we notice how fundamentalist men are so against education of women. I mean, think of Malala and how she was actually shot by the Taliban because she wanted an education.
و یا در نیجریه یادتونه بوکو حرام وقتی که به مدارس دخترانه حمله میکنه و دختران رو میگیره هیچ وقت سوال کردین از خودتون چرا به مدارس پسرانه حمله نمیکنه؟
Or Boko Haram in Nigeria, how they attacked a girls' school and kidnapped a number of girls. Have you ever asked yourself why they didn't attack a boys' school, kidnapping boys?
این به خاطر این است که مردها اصولا نمیخوان زنها دانش بیاموزن برای اینکه اگر باسواد باشن اون وقت این فرهنگ رو ضعیفتر میکنن.
And this is basically because men don't want women to be literate and educated because once they become educated, they will try and weaken this patriarchal culture.
بنابراین آخرین حرف من به شما این است که دانش بیاموزید. دانش.
My last word to you therefore is be educated. Education.
বিশদ আকারে উনি আসলে তুলে ধরলেন আমাদের এই বিষয়টা। শর্ট করে আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ আমাদের কিন্তু টাইম শেষ আমরা এরপরে আর নিব না প্রশ্ন আমরা শেষ করবো আমরা কথা দিয়েছিলাম হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে
Sampo. I'm Shine Akhtar. I'm from UAE. Actually, yesterday in a press conference, you said that you will take Myanmar government to International Court of Justice. So I just wanted to know that what will be your next move to bring Myanmar to International Court of Justice.
We have already, there's a lot of statistics and a good case compiled by many people, and we have the evidence that this is a genocide. Our next course is to, through the UN, identify states who can take, individual states can actually take the Burmese government to the ICC. So we want to find states who have a passion for human rights and justice. Can you think of a few? Would you like to shout out a few states in the world who have a passion for human rights and human dignity and justice? Isn't it tragic? We have to scratch our brains to think of which of our governments in the world will be willing to do this. Michelle Walker? Who? No, okay. Yeah. But so we would like to see the Burmese and the Bangladeshi government itself take action here. There are European governments who might take action. Other Asian governments who might take action. We are asking for individual governments in our world who will take them to the ICC. But we will continue with our great network, because we all need each other in this. We will continue educating people about the genocide of the Rohingya people, because until a few days ago, most people didn't know of the Rohingya people. So it's education, which is your role. And this only came to light because good journalists had the courage and the bravery to tell the truth at risk of consequences. Because the Myanmar government, we are told, one of our delegation didn't come here because the Myanmar government have a list of people who have spoken out on this issue, and they're not allowed into Burma anymore because they have identified this genocide. That's not acceptable. So we have to get out what they're doing. So we will do it with everybody else. Before this is over, people will know that the Rohingya people suffered a genocide. So it's an educational thing. It's going to governments around the world, and it's demanding of our governments to take them to the ICC, and we can all be part of that.
সাবিয়া আর প্রশ্ন নিতে চাই না, আমাদের সময়টা শেষ, এরপর অন্য একটা প্রোগ্রাম আছে, ঠিক আছে?
Hi, this is Sabiha from the Daily Prathama. It's a Bengali daily. I have, in fact, I have two questions. One, are you getting enough coverage on the plight of Rohingya communities in your media? My question is for both of you. And my second question is, what will you do to form public opinion in your country? Thank you.
Well, no, we're not getting enough information. Most people at home wouldn't know of the Rohingya people. They don't know, they haven't heard enough of them. In America, they don't know, and their media are not energized on this. So it's a matter of putting this to the top of the agenda. It's a matter of saying that people before profit. Human lives are more important than corporations and oil companies and people going down this road of ignoring the people. So no, they don't know. And it's up to every one of us to see that they do know, and that they're made responsible and there is accountability. Now, Boris Johnson came over here, and he flew over the area, and he went back again. So the British government, through their foreign secretary, know and have seen the villages that have been flattened, and saying, enough is enough, and this is nonsense. These policies are nonsense. That's why we need women at the table. We need women to bring the new agenda, and the new security agenda is education, healthcare, schooling, the environment. My God, if we don't do something about the environment, we've had it. But we can deal with these problems, but not when we are wasting our best brains and our money on nuclear weapons. And I'm told Israel has nuclear weapons. I've been a lot to Israel, and Israel has nuclear weapons. And I'm told that it's not far along the road before Saudi Arabia will have nuclear weapons. Right? That's a plan. So Saudi Arabia will have nuclear weapons. And then who's next to have nuclear weapons? Who next wants a big bomb? Who's next? I bet there's not one woman or man in this room who would put up their hands and say, we have a nuclear weapon. What is it? What colour is it? How many people will it kill? We have got to mobilise now at this point of history for a new security agenda that is for our children and all our children, because we are in a very dangerous world.
اگه من یادم مونده باشه شما مثل اینکه راجع به این سوال کردید که آیا مسائل روهینجا در کشور ما منعکس میشه یا نه؟
Now, if I remember, you asked whether the Rohingya issue is being given any coverage in our country.
حقوق برابر ندارید.
I am aware of the discriminations that women in Bangladesh also face. I know we don't have gender equality in Bangladesh.
اما باید بگم که اصولا در هیچ جای دنیا زنها برابر با مردها نیستن. در بعضی از کشورها قانون ظلم میکنه مثل کشور من و بسیاری از کشورهای اسلامی از جمله کشور شما.
Although I have to admit that nowhere in the world men and women are totally equal. And in some countries it is the law that actually oppresses.
مثل اغلب کشورهای اروپایی مخصوصا شمال اروپا یا آمریکا، اما زنها باز هم در وضعیت تبعیض‌آمیز هستند، زیرا که امکان استفاده از حقوق برابر رو ندارند.
And there are countries where the law actually recognizes equality of men and women, such as in the Western world, especially in Northern Europe and
امن به میزان کافی و خوب در اختیار زنها بگذارند.
And when it comes to violence against women, we have to try and convince our governments of the need to have more safe homes and shelters for women.
چیزی که تو خیلی از کشورها نیست.
And unfortunately that doesn't exist in many countries.
من متاسفانه بیشتر از وقتم صحبت کردم، بنابراین خدا.
I think I've gone over my 7 minutes, so I have to keep quiet now.
Well, you had... Thank you very much, but we purposefully gave a little more time because there was a translation. But I know I don't have to say this, but I'd still like to say that...
Such, although I've worked as an academic with some of them, but myself as an academic and as a researcher and as somebody who deals with students, my approach has been, so I teach, for example, gender in Islam. I teach an anthropology of religion. I teach the politics of secularism. So these are subjects in which we have to talk about a lot of these things. We have to bring in history, we have to bring in... So I always foreground patriarchy. Look, patriarchy is a problem. And let's break it down and, let's put religion aside and have a conversation around this. My experience has been that for a large number of this kind of young middle-class women, I think they want to engage with the tradition, and oftentimes they're lost. And they can't put Islam and patriarchy when it